So hello everyone. I today I just want to talk about some mental notes that I've been taking regarding cognitive functions. So so the first one is about about let me see. The first one is about this. All this time we think cognitive type not cognitive we think cognitive functions isn't about isn't about the content. What if that's not true? So, so I just think that we really need to consider our assumptions about about how these things work. Maybe because it seems to me, from what I've seen on 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 people who have been typed as people who I think are their types, yeah, whatever. I think it's not really about the mental processes that separates them. It's really about the mental content that that creates the difference between FE and TE, for example. While maybe the mental processes that we can clearly observe, it exists in categories such as PI, JI, PE, and JE. So so it's the energetics, it's the attitudes, and the rationality, the the irrational, whatever. The We currently call it introverted judgment, extroverted judgment, introverted perception, and extroverted perception. So that's what I think the legitimate mental processes that can be seen from from people's from people's mental workings. But it's not it's not you can't really see the differences. I mean, you can't definitively see the difference between TE and FE. I mean, there's been some overlap. There's not really a clear boundaries where you can say this is FE and this is TE. This is where FE starts, this is where FE ends. It doesn't really work like that. But what I'm seeing is is FI is the differences. the differences are only exist as long as we consider them being in a spectrum. That's why it's really important to understand where these things differ. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. So 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 the second observation that I was taking note about is I've seen the characteristic. It's about the characteristic of TI. One of the characteristics seem to be they they have this unique mechanism in in closing the in closing their mental gap. They have this unique attitude in 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 dealing with the unknown, especially regarding themselves. For example, if they let's say Andy is a TI user. Andy has been known to be an absent-minded guy, and one day he spots he spots he spots $100 on the street, and he brings it home and tells his wife, and then his wife in confusion asks him, uh, how can you see how could you see the money across the street while you usually don't see the thing that is in front of you? And Andy would answer, perhaps he would say that oh, today, this morning, I have had a very nutritious breakfast, so that's why my brain was working better when I found this. And you see, that's not necessarily the case, but to Andy seems to always need to have an explanation about himself. and he can't just simply say I don't know. And this also applies to other people, I think. when when he can't explain why someone else behave in the way that they are behaving, he would ask questions that implies that the person is lying, while he's not really accounting to the possibility that people do mistakes. It seems in, incomprehensible to Andy, and that's one of the things that I notice. I don't know if that's really TI, but that's one of the different mental process that I notice in people. It seems some people can't leave a mental gap lingering in their mind. They have they need to have the answer immediately. They can't fathom that 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 sometimes other people also don't know the answer. So yeah, that's just one of my observations about maybe TI, maybe not TI, but that's that's definitely one variant of the way that humans think, and that's really interesting. So that's it, I think, for today. I would I would talk about these things probably again in our next videos. See you next time.